Hey guys, new articles speculating on what Fanatics might do here in the next few years. Let's talk about this. Stick around. Hello to all my sports card collector, investor, all my collectibles friends out there. I hope that everybody is having a great Friday. Is it already Friday? I can't believe it. We are already to the weekend. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. If you like what you hear, the like button and the notification bell, maybe a little tappity tap of the notification bell so you are notified when new videos come out. We try to put out about 5 videos a week or so is what we're averaging. Maybe 5-6 videos a week. We really enjoy it. We also do live streams at night on occasion as well. So we're having a good time here, guys. We're having an absolutely good time. So thank you very much for being here. All right, guys, a couple of new articles that had come out about Fanatics, and both of them were done by CNBC. And I thought they were really interesting because there was a couple of little tidbits that I took from it that I was, first off, a couple of shocking pieces, just some of the numbers that caught me off guard, and I'll explain why. But first, let me also say that the articles did notate that Fanatics had been reached out for comment, and they had not contributed to the article. So essentially, it's speculation on certain facts that we know of. And so I'm speculating on that speculation, essentially. So a lot of speculation, but we will kind of point out some of the things that were noted, and there's factual things in here as well. So I think it's interesting to just kind of, take all the pieces, put them together, and let's talk about this. It's fun. All right, so as we all know, Fanatics has made moves. They have made deals with the sports associations, the players associations, the leagues, and in 3, 5, 6 years, whatever it is, they're going to take over the trading card space. One thing that popped out here in this article that I almost thought that the number was wrong, and I'm wondering if it is. I mean, it's just crazy. So essentially it has in here that the sports trading card business is projected to reach $98.7 billion by 2027. $1 billion a year. Now, to kind of give you an idea, I mean, pre-pandemic, we were talking about like $1 to $2 billion a year before kind of this massive push into sports cards. The other thing that I think might not be correct here is it says the sports trading card business, which technically sports trading cards falls underneath the sports memorabilia umbrella. So I have to assume that they're talking about all sports memorabilia when they're saying this, not just trading cards. Because if it's just trading cards, that is absolutely bananas. I think that they're also including sports memorabilia, people that are buying signed jerseys and basketballs and footballs, etc., that sort of stuff. I've got to assume, and that was done by Verified Market Research, which was the company that supposedly had provided this information. Again, I'm taking this from another news article. I will put a link in the description, but it talks about it, as a reference. You can go back to it, read it yourself, and kind of put together your own conclusion. Also mentions here that Fanatics wants to additionally enter into the $40 billion a year sports betting market, which of course is huge. It's absolutely massive when you're talking about, DraftKings and, some of these huge, fantasy football, whether it be daily fantasy football, type outfits, all the sports betting type stuff that's really come about. And so their speculation, again, of them buying, again, one of these players getting into the market, I think a big question will be is, are they going to keep on making acquisitions, or are they going to come up with their own platforms? I think it's probably easier in some cases to just acquire the brands that are already established, but, we will have to see again. But they're looking at, that's part of their according to this article, they are looking also at getting into that space, that sports betting space, as well as the broadcasting side it mentions as well. So what does that mean? I mean, I look at that and it's like, are they going to take over NBC or Fox, broadcast the games? I mean, but that is all part of this plan. And also another thing that I thought was interesting, so they have an $18 billion private valuation, essentially. A lot of chatter that there is going to be an IPO coming. And it says here there's chatter on Wall Street, which who knows what that means. I don't know if there's sources attached to that or what exactly the deal is there, but Thought that was interesting, though, that there might be an IPO coming at some point. Another tidbit as well is Fanatics is tied to Candy Digital, and Candy Digital is an NFT company. And another person that you might be aware of, so you've got Michael Rubin, that is a founder of Candy Digital, that is part of Fanatics. Another founder of Candy Digital is Gary Vaynerchuk. So he's also involved on the NFT side. He is a part of Candy Digital. So it kind of ties it all together again, where Fanatics has already got kind of like an NFT arm that they're working with. And then the article speculates that they are looking to be essentially a one-stop shop for trading cards. And it does kind of talk about, look, from the purchase of the card to the grading of the card to the storing of the card to the insuring of the card to the selling of the card into a marketplace. And I think what will be interesting too is, are they going to essentially kind of tie in with other marketplaces, to where you're selling, through eBay or you're through StarStock or some of these existing marketplaces, through their site, or are they going to build out their own marketplace to compete, with all the other companies? It's just going to be fascinating to watch, like what other acquisitions are coming. What are they going to do on their own? I think that's also another thing that's very interesting. But, the big speculation is that they want to be kind of that one-stop shop. What does that mean for grading companies? Are they trying to use other grading companies? Are they trying to come up with their own grading company? What does that mean exactly? What does it mean for the local card shops? What does it mean for the distributors? I just can't imagine that this is amazing news to distributors, and maybe with local card shops. Probably depends on your business model and how you're situated. Maybe it has a big impact, and maybe it doesn't. Again, I don't run card shops. I have watched card shop owners with podcasts and different things talking about this, and of course, it's all speculation, kind of how that distribution is going to work out. Hopefully, Fanatics does work with those local LCSs and kind of builds a nice network and kind of continues that on. I think it would be very big business of them to take control of all of it, but it would be kind of cool if they left a little bit of that hobbiness, that we're all kind of used to, whether it be a local card shop. It'd be sad if there was just no local card shops anymore. That would be really a shame. And I've heard people kind of make comparisons to, like, hey, this is the equivalent of Walmart wiping out all the local hardware stores and all the local groceries, etc. And I hope that is not the case. And I know that, again, we won't know until we get there. But when you just look at kind of like, what they're trying to do, this is going to be like a mega sports conglomerate is what it looks like, Fanatics. And the way they've positioned themselves, really being on the inside with the leagues and the players associations, especially with the players associations, the players having ownership of all of it. That really kind of changes the game in my opinion. It just feels like they're going to have really an inside track to really kind of run sports, as they see fit, as far as kind of collectibles, sports betting, sports NFTs, kind of all of that stuff. And if they're getting into broadcasting and all that stuff, it's like the entire, then what they're running, they control the advertising. If they're running the broadcasting part, it's kind of interesting to see. It's kind of wild, really. So how do you think it's going to turn out, guys? I know we've been making kind of these types of videos, but this was an interesting spin, especially the fact that the projection from that one particular market research company has sports trading cards, and I assume it's including memorabilia, at almost $100 billion a year industry. That is far and away more, like way more than it is right now. Like I said, pre-pandemic, you're talking about like $1 to $2 billion a year. Now, maybe there had been speculation over with the pandemic that it was maybe more like $5 to $10 billion, and then maybe with 2021, eBay sales in the first quarter were approaching $1 billion. So, maybe it's, I don't know what it is now, 15, 20 billion. I don't really know. But to think that it's going to go to almost $100 billion is wild to me. That fact, that's what caught me off guard, right? That piece of information there, that's massive growth. That's not a little bit of growth. That's not like 4 to 7% annually, whatever. That is massive growth. That's projecting out that, it's very mainstream to buy into sports memorabilia type stuff and to buy into sports related collectibles and that sort of thing. So what do you guys think? In 2027, is this a $100 billion a year market? Is that what you think it's going to be? I'd like to hear kind of your thoughts, because the reason why I think this is kind of interesting is because you do have a lot of people that are on the side of, hey, this bubble's going to burst. In a few years, the market's going to drop, the prices are going to come down on a lot of this stuff. And, it's going to kind of go back to, maybe not back to the way it was, but kind of, more similar with more of a flatline pricing, or at least, more kind of steady pricing. But the way that this kind of tells that story, this tells a different story to that. So tell me how and I'd like to hear, if it's going to be $100 billion a year market, what does that look like? What does that look like as far as, sports memorabilia, the availability to it? And what do you think that means as far as the average person? Is the average person going to have, signed jerseys and different things? I mean, what do you think it's going to look like? I'd like to hear your thoughts. I appreciate you tuning in here, guys. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again soon.